Hi guys, it's Han here. Today we are going to talk about the new North American version of Toyota Land Cruiser Elk 250, which is about to be launched. Welcome to subscribe my car reviews channel both in Chinese and English. Thank you all for subscribing, liking, commenting, sharing, and lighting up the bell. After the previous generation Elk 200 ended in the US market, there have been rumors that the new Land Cruiser will return to the US market. I have always been skeptical about this information. The first reason is that the LC300 has been on the market for some time in many places around the world. If wanted to get it in the US market, would have got it already. It won't wait until this wave cools down before taking it. Another, the sales volume of Elk 200 in the United States before should not be satisfactory to Toyota. Although the Land Cruiser model is a totem in the hearts of auto fans even in the US market, Toyota has not paid enough attention to it here. The trim has always been relatively simple and the price has stayed high, making it difficult for fans to reach. Even in good times, LX was sometimes sold at a lower price than Elk 200 during promotions. Second, the Land Cruiser's positioning in the United States is awkward. Although it is the most expensive model in the family, it does not have the largest space. Sequoia is a large and relatively cheap affordable product in the family. If we say it is high-end, the LX model is priced about the same as it. The LX has higher configurations and finer workmanship. From time to time, the interest rate or lease offer of the LX is better than that of the Land Cruiser. As a result, the Elk 200 was in a very embarrassing situation at the time, and its sales volume could not satisfy Toyota. In mid-2021, Toyota released new LC300 product. Although the new LX600 arrived in the US market as scheduled, the LC300 has never officially landed in the US market. Although there have been rumors that the Land Cruiser product will come to the US market, the market has always only heard about it but not seen it. Looking at Toyota, which is very realistic and utilitarian nowadays, I thought that the LC300 might not be seen in the US market for the time being. But no one would have thought that when Toyota released the new Prado globally, they actually said that it would be called Land Cruiser in the US market and officially released its model in the US market. Although in recent years, Toyota has had no bottom line in its operations, I was mentally prepared for it. Although Prado is also a product separated from the Land Cruiser series, when Toyota pointed at Prado and insisted on calling it Land Cruiser, I still couldn't accept it subjectively. But when calm down and think about it, they can name their kid whatever they want, and there's nothing we can do about it. From this point of view, when Toyota's much-hyped Land Cruiser, which has the most continuous and long-lasting nameplate among Toyota products, returns to the United States, I think it only returns as a name, and the vehicle is no longer that one. I wonder what the two brothers would think if the LC300 could be imported into the United States and that Land Cruiser met this Land Cruiser head-on. Talking about the product. As we all know, the Land Cruiser model released in the United States this time is still called Prado in other markets, and the chassis code is HC250. It is not the same one as the 300 model called Land Cruiser in other regional markets. From the appearance design, the American version of the Land Cruiser or Prado model is still the sister model of the Lexus GX series. It is derived from the TNGAF platform and is a brother of the Land Cruiser 300, LX, Sequoia, Tundra and the new Tacoma. According to official information, this generation model uses a newly developed double wishbone front suspension with double-tube shock absorbers, and the rear suspension is a multi-link structure with coil springs. Based on the platform it comes from, we have reason to believe that the body-on-frame style and rear whole axle should also be as standard. It can be seen from the exterior and interior design that this generation of GX and Prado have a hardcore off-road style. In this era of minimalism and today's impetuous auto world, it seems that the purpose and performance of a vehicle must be clearly expressed in the styling design, and even the slightest elegance may not be understood by auto fans and consumers. The exterior design is not like the previous Prado's tough guy with some tenderness and toughness with a touch of elegance. The previous shape didn't look out of place when driving off-road, it didn't feel uncomfortable when driving on the highway, also it didn't look out of place. But with such a tough design now, if it is not used for off-road use, it seems a bit wasteful to just use it for high-speed running and local daily drive. If you still can't think of this scenario, you can imagine that driving an FJ Cruiser specifically for high-speed driving only. This generation of products has an approach angle of 31 degrees and a departure angle of 22 degrees. As for the overall dimensions, we only take the parameters of products in the US market as an example. If you compare it with the previous generation Land Cruiser, you can see that the size is still much smaller than the previous gene ratio. After all, in other regions, the relationship between the two is that of older brother and younger brother. The length of the wheelbase maintains the heritage. This wheelbase size that has been adhered to since the first generation Land Cruiser is still persisted in the 250. It can be regarded as not forgetting the original intention. If compared with its sister model, the just-released GX550, the wheelbase of the two is exactly the same, the length is shorter than the GX, and the mirror included width is wider than the GX. Due to limited data on new models, we don't know cause of whether it's the width of the mirrors, the width of the body, or the width of the accessories. The GX is also taller in terms of height. It can be seen that although the two are sister models, the new GX550 model is still slightly larger than the Land Cruiser 250 in terms of appearance size. If compared with the exterior size of the Toyota 4Runner, the hardcore off-road model currently sold in the United States, the Land Cruiser 250 also has advantages. From the perspective of appearance parameters, it is larger than the current 4Runner, but the minimum ground clearance of 4Runner is still higher. The interior design and the general shape of the central control are basically the same between Land Cruiser and GX. Toyota is now making no secret of its matryoshka behavior. The difference in the central control of the two vehicles is limited to the common parts of the two brands, such as the differences in the instrument panels, logos, and ignition switch positions of the two models. In addition, the Lexus high-end model integrates the air conditioner and central control screen. Toyota brand still retains a separate air conditioning control. The rest are minor differences such as the shape of the air outlets and decorative lines. From the only pictures we can see, it seems that the front seat cushions of the new Land Cruiser have an extension function. So good. New products come standard with Toyota Safety System 3.0. From the picture, it is equipped with the latest 3-display area LCD instrument panel of the Toyota family. According to the official, it comes standard with an 8-inch central display screen, and both iPhone CarPlay and Android Phone Connected have wireless connection. A 12.3-inch central screen and 14-speaker JBL audio are optional. Regarding the powertrain, I thought it would be equipped with the same powertrain as the GX, but it was not. Currently, there is only one power system released, which is a fuel-electric hybrid system made of a 2.4 turbo engine. From the perspective of Land Cruiser, the 8-cylinder 5.7 is directly reduced to a 4-cylinder hybrid. This is obviously a huge gap, but from the perspective of Toyota's midsize SUV, shrinking it to a 4-cylinder hybrid is in line with Toyota's current temperament. Because the technical route is different, it is both supercharged and hybrid. The overall parameters still seem to be in line with the expected parameter performance of this level, and even the maximum torque is better than the data of the ELK 200's 5.7-liter V8 engine. Compared with the 3.4L twin-turbocharger of the sister model GX550, the parameters are not much different. However, the maximum towing capacity is still much smaller than the previous 200 model or the GX550. Currently, it is officially announced that the new Land Cruiser only has this powertrain, and there will be a hybrid model launched in the future of the GX, which is likely to be this hybrid system. If compared with the 4Runner, the power parameters have been improved a lot. Both the maximum horsepower and torque are much higher than the parameters of the old 4.0L engine. There is no other way. Toyota stopped updating its 6-cylinder and 8-cylinder naturally aspirated engines early for this cylinder reduction plan. The 4-wheel drive system has two modes, low and high, and is equipped with a multi-terrain selection mode and crawl mode. From this table, we can see the sales performance of each of Toyota's so-called hardcore off-road SUVs in the US market since the early 1990s. Land Cruiser and LX products cannot become mass-market models due to their high market positioning. Therefore, the pragmatic Toyota has left LX standing at the top of the tower. If you can compete with the Range Rover, do it. If can't, then just stand on the top of the mountain and act as the flagship. As for the size of the Sequoia, Toyota will naturally be jealous when it sees the volume of the American model. The Sequoia will naturally take on the attributes of some mass-market products. From this table, we can see that in fact, Toyota's hardcore model that really takes the cake is the 4Runner. In recent years, 4Runner's sales have been increasing due to its excellent product strength, refined configuration levels and down-to-earth prices, and has gradually become one of the family's sales pillars. Toyota continues to make efforts in this market segment, and wants the high-end GX with a luxury brand. This time, Land Cruiser is launched as another mid-sized hardcore off-road vehicle, continuing to expand its voice in this market segment. This all makes sense. It should have been called Prado, but because its reputation in the US market is not strong, it would be better to just call it Land Cruiser. It may even attract a wave of sentimental customers. I have to say that in terms of calculation, it has to be Toyota. It's just that the new Land Cruiser midsize SUV is now positioned. The final assembly line is also in a Japan plant. It overlaps so much with the 4Runner's positioning that I'm afraid there will be no room for the 4Runner to survive in the future. It is still unknown whether 4Runner will say goodbye to us, or whether it will use the reputation accumulated by 4Runner for many years to lower the price of mid-sized hardcore models and join forces with the Land Cruiser brothers to conquer this market segment. We can only wait and see. According to the official, the new US version of Land Cruiser is divided into 3 basic trims. One is Land Cruiser 1958, one is called Land Cruiser, and the other is called Land Cruiser First Edition. According to Toyota Japan's official website, there are 2-row and 3-row seats versions to choose. Among them, the LC First Edition is a limited edition and uses a replica of the round headlight set. Limited edition of 5,000 units sold in North America. Toyota has been playing so much with limited sales in recent years, and it's addictive. The configuration of 1958 is relatively low, with an 8-inch central screen, 6-speaker audio, heated steering wheel, and fabric seats. Land Cruiser has relatively high configuration, equipped with front stabilizer bar disconnect, multi-terrain select, multi-terrain monitor, 12-inch central screen, 10-speaker audio and leather seats. The LC First Edition has more external accessories and icing on the cake than the Land Cruiser level. MSRP official retail guide price. This time, the official did not let everyone guess, and gave a range, saying that the price would start at the middle of $50,000. Now it becomes clearer why it is named Land Cruiser. The previous Land Cruiser LC200 was generally priced at $90K to $100K bucks in the US market. This time, the price starts at $55,000, which gives customers the feeling of getting a huge bargain. But if you look at it from the perspective of 4Runner, the starting price of the 2023 4Runner low-end model without shipping is $39,555. If compared with the Land Cruiser nameplate or new Gen GX, it is quite valuable. But that means if you want to buy a brand new Land Cruiser, it is expected to have a budget of $65,000 to $70,000. In this comparison, how to price the 2.4T hybrid model of GX is very subtle. If the pricing of GX Hybrid and LC are highly overlapped, I wonder if the LC250 will be the same fate as its predecessor the ELK200 in the United States. Thanks for above video. See you soon.